Hi there folks, this is going to be a very quick video on a simple and easy modification you can do to your impact bullet puller. Now I'm sure you're familiar with how an impact bullet puller works, but for those of you who aren't, I'll give you a quick demonstration. Most of these machines come with a collet to hold a cartridge, or several different collets to hold different sizes of cartridge. The collet is slipped over the rim or into the extraction groove of the cartridge. The cartridge is dropped into the puller, the end is screwed on, and then the puller is struck repeatedly against a hard surface, and the inertia of the bullet causes it to be pulled ahead to dump the contents of the cartridge out, usually used for pulling apart your reloading mistakes or for investigating what's in perhaps a factory round. Now, I've been pulling apart a lot of ammunition lately doing ammo reviews, and a lot of times the rounds are very tenaciously held together by either a sealant on the case neck, or just due to neck tension or age, the bullets may be very hard to pull, and this results in having to hit the puller against a hard surface quite a few times. And a byproduct of that vigorous use of the puller is that when the bullet does actually come out, oftentimes some of the powder will actually bounce up, and it'll bounce up and get out between these cuts on the collet and actually sprinkle out on the floor, which is not so good if you're trying to weigh the powder charges that are in a round. And as these things come from the factory, there's a hole in the end of the bullet puller here, and the cap that goes over it. And that's important because if that cap wasn't there and this thing was all assembled, an accidental detonation of the cartridge that's in there would get pressurized, and it would basically explode the bullet puller into fragments. So the open end gives an accidental firing of the cartridge a place for the pressure to vent out of. So as a means to keep the powder from leaking out of this thing while I was using it, made a very simple modification, and that was simply to cut a plastic disc, the very thin plastic disc out of polyethylene, just sheet plastic like you would get the kind of stuff you use for vapor barrier, that type of thing. So I just cut a disc of plastic out the same size as the hole, and then I took a piece of clear packing tape and put that over the other side, and basically just centered the plastic disc over the hole with the packing tape, cut the packing tape off even with the outside edge, this outside edge here, and that basically gives us a cover for the hole. And because we've got some plastic over it on the inside, the powder won't stick to it, so it gives us a non-stick surface, so that when we use the puller, the powder won't get knocked completely out of the bullet puller. It'll all stay inside the puller. And yet this is a very thin, flimsy item, so it doesn't add any significant weight, and more importantly, it won't capture any significant amount of pressure inside the puller should there be an accidental detonation of the round that's in it. So I'm going to pull a round apart here, and I'll just show you how this is effective at keeping the powder inside of the puller. It's always important when you're using these pullers to keep the cap on good and tight. So I've got a 7.62 by 39 round in there that I'm going to pull apart, so we'll just give this thing a few taps. There we go. The round is apart. You can hear the bullet fall out. So we'll take this back up to the top of the counter here, and I'll show you how the plastic helps keep everything inside. Okay, here's our impact bullet puller with the 7.62 by 39 round pulled apart inside of it. And we can actually, you can see any powder in there or not. You can kind of see a few flakes of powder caught in around the collet, and those normally would have bounced right out of this puller when it hit the floor. But as it stands right now, we can actually turn this thing upside down, and we can shake everything around, and nothing leaks out of it. Look, we've got all the powder into the top of it there, and nothing has leaked out. So as long as we take this thing apart over the top of a container, we can capture all the contents, and We won't lose anything if we want to weigh or measure the contents of that cartridge, and then we'll have all the powder when we want to reassemble the thing when we're done. So anyway, just a very quick and easy modification you can do to your bullet puller, and makes it a little more tidy and a little more precise. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.